Coming up on Chicago Bears Now, we're going to get into your mailbag questions. So use hashtag Bears. You see it right there to get your questions on the show. You can also super chat. My name is Harrison Graham, and speaking of that, follow me on Instagram. Let's play a little game. If you follow me and DM me FGB, do so now at HGrahamNFL. First 10 people that do that will get a shout out on a future show. So DM me at HGrahamNFL on Instagram, FGB. That way I know you came from this show, and I'll get you some shout outs on the show. Okay, before we jump into your mailbag questions, I did want to explore this topic. DeAndre Houston-Carson, could Chicago bring him back before training camp? He remains unsigned. And look, he's been a long-tenured Bear here. If he were to re-sign, he'd be the longest tenured along with their long snapper, Patrick Scales. And he's been a special teams ace for this team. Now, you look at his career raw stats, like, over 94 games, nothing crazy, right? 139 tackles, 3 picks, 8 breakups, 3 forced fumbles, but one of the better special teams players in the league, and a really good third safety kind of nickel hybrid guy, a guy that if there is an injury or if you want to play a dime package to get an extra DB on the field, he can hold his own. He's always around the football. He sees the field well. He's not the best athlete, but just knows how to play. And at this safety position for the Bears, your top 2 are set, obviously. Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker, I think the potential to be a top 5 safety duo in the NFL this year, you're good there. But we saw last year, Jackson got hurt. Brisker had a concussion, missed a couple of games. Elijah Hicks, Kendall Williamson, a 7th-round pick in each of the past 2 drafts, is one of those guys ready to step up and be that, reliable third safety special teams ace. I will say this, Hicks played well on special teams last year, but according to reports, struggling in camp and coverage. Kendall Williamson is a rookie 7th-rounder. Is he ready to be that guy? I would trust DHC more to be that third safety, but maybe the Bears opt to stick with the youth here with Hicks and Williamson. But if there's room for DHC and you want to keep Hicks and Williamson, go 5 safeties on the 53, that's something I would consider because he's been a good player for this team for several years. Now, what do you guys think? Should the Bears re-sign DeAndre Houston-Carson? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I would do it. I'd like to see it happen. Pin comment on today's video. Let me know if you would sign DHC. Get to some super chats and some hashtag Bears questions. Shout out Daily Basis with the 5. He says, I'm going to the Raiders game. One of the best pass rushers in the league, and will definitely test the O-line. Pick a non-Justin Fields touchdown leader. I vote Kmet. First of all, congrats. Have fun at the game. That'll be a good time. Non-Justin Fields touchdown leader. Kmet had 7 last year. I'm going to go DJ Moore. On my bold predictions video, you guys should go watch it if you haven't. I predicted 10 touchdowns for DJ Moore. Why is that bold? He's never had more than 7 in a season. So I'll go DJ Moore with 10, but Kmet's a good call. He proved to be a good red zone target last year. No, Palencia, sup Harrison, I have a strong feeling Tyrique Stevenson will be CB1 in the not-so-distant future. Thoughts? Also, Fields, comeback player of the year. He can't be comeback player of the year because he played all year last year and played better last year than the year before. He could be like big-time breakout player of the year. He could do that. As far as Stevenson goes, I'm still going to give that nod to Jalen Johnson, but he's on a contract year. Maybe they wait and see how Stevenson plays, and if he balls out, maybe they're more willing to let Jalen Johnson walk next offseason. Who knows what Ryan Poles is thinking there. But I like Stevenson. I think he's got CB1 potential, just not ready to make that call when he hasn't played in an NFL game yet. Young Nile, do you think Poles is possibly being a little too reserved with spending at this point? Still haven't signed another edge, and Kmet has still not been re-signed. What gives? Look, we know Ryan Poles is careful in free agency. He doesn't throw out wild contracts because the Bears are still a rebuilding team. Do $72 million at Tremaine Edmunds, but the way that was structured, it still protects the Bears a bit down the road. I would go sign an edge or two. You've got $32 million in cap space. I still think there's time to do that. If he doesn't do that, that would be disappointing, but I'm still going to give Poles the benefit of the doubt here to see if he does. Appreciate all the super chats here. Jacob, bear down, who is a big-time star edge rusher we should and could unrealistically shock the world and trade for. Go to the Chiefs-Bears game, first game I get to go to. That's pretty awesome, Jacob. Fields Mahomes, that's going to be a good time. Look, Danielle Hunter would be pretty shocking. Interdivision, he's a star edge. That would be a surprise. Could you get a guy like Josh Allen from the Jags? The Jags, Josh Allen, not the Bills quarterback, obviously. That would be pretty shocking. But, those are a couple of kind of out there ideas. Obviously, with Hunter, he's been connected to trade rumors, but that would be a big divisional trade. F. Marsh in the chat. Could Chicago sign Teddy Bridgewater if P.J. Walker struggles in camp? They could, and Bridgewater is the best free agent quarterback out there, unless you want to say Carson Wentz, which I don't want to say that. I think Bridgewater could fill in fairly seamlessly. He played in Mike McDaniel's system last year as a backup to Tua, which is similar to this offense under Luke Getsy. I think Teddy's one of the better backups in the NFL. He's got some mobility, too. Nothing like Justin Fields. But I think that's an interesting idea. He's obviously played longer and at a higher level than P.J. Walker for an extended period of time. And he played with DJ Moore in 2020 with Carolina. So you've got that as well. Obviously, P.J. Walker did as well. Walker's younger. He's probably a little bit more mobile. I'm cool with P.J. Walker. I think Bridgewater's more proven. So if P.J. Walker goes into camp, really struggles, is bad in the preseason, maybe you could shake things up and sign Bridgewater to be the backup if he's still available at that point. But I'm not rushing and trying to make that a priority. I'm only doing that if, like you said, Walker really struggles. Who do you guys think is the better backup quarterback? Type PJ for PJ Walker, TB for Teddy Bridgewater. Let me know in the comment section down below who you think the better backup QB is. Computer Kid, should we sign Hopkins or Dalvin Cook? I like both players. I still think both have something left in the tank. And especially in Hopkins' case, look, we talked about this last week. There was an article out there saying they should sign Hopkins. I think Hopkins is a better player than Claypool. He's probably better. He might even be better than Darnell Mooney still. But he's 31, and don't you want to see these two young receivers, see what they do this year and which ones you want to keep long term? Because if you sign Hopkins, one of those two guys is getting phased out. Dalvin Cook, look, you got Khalil Herbert, Deontay Foreman, and Roschon Johnson. Who are you taking carries away from? I guess if you want to cut Deontay Foreman and sign Dalvin Cook, I'm not going to freak out about it, but I just don't see that being the case. And you only gave Foreman $3 million. Cook wants more than that. He's been turning down offers from the Dolphins. So I don't think that one's realistic either. Sealand is back. Haven't seen Sealand in a while. What's up, my friend? Is there any chatter at all from any source regarding any more moves we plan on making, adding more depth? That garbage NFL notifications account on Twitter said the Bears are exploring signing an edge, but I think that's more of the rumor mill that's been discussed for a while. I haven't seen a new report, Sealand, but we've seen this team sign players right before training camp, during training camp in recent years, so I still think there's a very good chance a move or two could happen. Lovey Smith, if this team only carries 6 receivers, who doesn't get the slip, Bayless, Pettis, or EQ? That's the $1 million question at receiver. I do think they'll carry 6, and I do think one of those 3 would be the one that gets cut. I think Bayless would have to be pretty damn bad to get cut because he was a third-round pick last year. He would have to be notably behind Pettis and EQ. And even if he's a little behind EQ, he's got more value on special teams, and he's younger. So you've got that going on. Pettis, I think in a perfect world, Bayless has a good camp. They like EQ as a blocker on offense. Pettis is just a worse Bayless. He gets cut. I think in an ideal world they would do that, but it seems like Pettis and Fields have a little bit of chemistry. They made some plays last year. Pettis had a good OTAs and minicamp too. I think he was better than EQ in the offseason program. So it's hard to say. One of those guys is going to be the odd man out. Now, could an injury happen where they all make it and someone's hurt? Mooney's been banged up. Is he for sure going to be ready to go? He says he is. Claypool missed some of the offseason program. So a lot of the time these things play themselves out because of an injury. But, yeah, those 3 guys seem to be jockeying for 2 spots. Don't miss out. Subscribe to the channel. Chicago Bears news and rumors on a daily basis here at Bears Now by Chat Sports. Training camps around the corner. Preseason games will be here. I can't wait for some watch parties. And, yes, we will do all the preseason games as well. So subscribe, turn on the noties. Don't miss any of it. Donald Lear here. Do you think that they are waiting to sign an edge rusher until after our first preseason game? My feeling is they are waiting to see how their guys are going to do in a game situation first. Very possible. It is. Now, Obviously, the longer you wait, the riskier it is because other teams can go sign those players. But Ryan Poles may want to see these guys in full contact game action. And, if he likes what he sees, maybe he'll just roll with what he's got. But, you're playing a dangerous game if you do that. If you wait that long and they struggle and these guys are gone, then you're just kind of stuck with the players on your roster. The Gabe, my dream wide receiver room, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Marvin Harrison Jr. Next year. Look, if Marvin Harrison's on board, I love Darnell Mooney, but he's probably your number 2. Mooney's your number 3, but if he comes back. But, I would take Marvin Harrison in a heartbeat on this team. You got 2 first-round picks next year, so decent chance you could go get him. Obviously, you're hoping the Bears pick isn't super high because that means they had a good year, but hopefully that Carolina pick is. Ron Winarski, what do you think of the Bears' new linebackers? Love them. I think it's top 5 linebacker unit in the league on paper. Tremaine Edmunds, TJ Edwards, 2 top 6 PFF graded linebackers a year ago, both great in coverage, which you want in today's NFL. They can play sideline to sideline. You've got Jack Sanborn, Noah Sewell as good LB3, 4 guys, and you've got Dylan Cole, an excellent special teamer, and a guy who played a career high in snaps on defense last year for Tennessee. So you go 5 deep at linebacker who can all see the field. It's a complete 180 compared to your linebacker unit from last year. Appreciate everybody for submitting their questions. If we didn't get to you, follow me on Instagram, DM me there, ask me your question at HGramNFL. I'll get back to you eventually. Also, first 10 people, FGB in the DMs. Let's go. I'll give you a shout out on a future show.